Hi everyone, welcome to Journal 52, my process of Journal 52. If you're interested in joining, I'll post the link down at the bottom. We are on week 4. It's something to do with the full moon, or you could take it to the other extreme and do lunacy. Alright, I'm going to do the full moon. Now, I believe in having taught children art and been a yard duty during lunchtime. I believe in the full moon, the lunacy part of the full moon, how it can make people go crazy. Yeah, it's true. Doesn't matter. I used to not be a believer of it, but once I started teaching, I tell you, the kids go nuts. The night or the day before and during the day just before the full moon, man, yeah, it's craziness, absolute craziness. So I'm going to be doing a full moon today, but I'm going to do it with using my jelly print. I don't know if you guys belong to the Jelly Arts YouTube channel. I will post a link to this particular video. It was so cool. They did an example of how to jelly print without using a brayer, and basically it's painting directly on your jelly print. So I've got the round jelly print. It's perfectly round for a moon. So I'm going to do a full moon, but I'm going to paint on my moon onto my jelly print. So I'm going to get the colors I want to use for this, and I think I'm going to use some Prussian blue hue, and I'm going to use some silver and gold. The Dazzling Metallics by Deco Art. This one is the Shimmering Silver, and this one is the Dazzling Metallics in the Emperor Gold. And I'm going to use a little bit of Prussian blue hue because I did really pure black gesso on the back here. It's not the greatest paint job on here. In fact, I just took some off, but that doesn't matter. It's going to get fixed. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put out my colors on some palette paper here that I used for some other project. And I'm just going to go ahead and put my colors down there. Just as if I was going to paint, okay? And I'm going to get my brush out. Oops, this one's not. Sometimes they get unmixed and they're in the bottle too long. Means I need to use this one up soon. It's going bad. Craft paint can go bad. There's not a really good longevity time for this, so yeah, it needs to be used within a certain time frame. That's why a lot of craft stores put them on sale, because they are starting to get, go to that expiration date. So as soon as you buy one that's on sale, you better use it quickly. Now, I'm trying to find another gold that I have here, and I can't find it. Where did that gold go? Come on, show up. Show where you are, please. Show where you are. Where did you go, gold? It was here. I'm trying to find my true gold color, and I know I used it the other day. Okay. I'm going to use a little bit of the true gold as well. I know I have some true silver somewhere as well, but because this one's just not cutting it this time. For some reason, it's just not coming out the way I wanted it to. It's kind of bad. Okay, well, I'm not going to worry about it, and I'm just going to get started. I'm using a slightly angled brush, okay, give me a little more control over this. And I'm going to start with the the Prussian blue hue. And I'm painting it on, okay? I'm doing it without a brayer, okay? We're going to see how this works, because I don't know. I've never done this before, so it will be interesting. Be very interesting. And I don't know how much paint to put on so that it works. I don't know, so I'm just kind of going in there and adding. Okay, now I'm adding my gold over the blue. It's kind of a cool effect. Ooh, I like that. Okay, And I'm going to add some more of the Emperor Gold. Kind of a gold shiny moon to start. And then I'm going to add my silver in spots. I'm just going to add spots. You know how like the moon's got those, the land craters or whatever. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to add that in sections. And this paint is going bad. I may have to find the other silver. Yeah, much better. Okay, so I'm going to go back over the ones I just did here. This paint, okay. And this is all an experiment, and this, I like Journal 52 because you don't have to be perfect. There's people out there I noticed on the website, and I'm not going to put them down or anything like that, but some of them are just too perfect for my taste, I think. And to me, Journal 52 is for you. It's to experiment different techniques, be imaginative. And so this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm doing mine. I'm being imaginative and I'm playing, and this is going to be a new thing. So if it doesn't work out, it's called a learning experience, not a mistake, a learning experience. So now I'm going to take this in my hand like a stamp, okay, like a stamp, and I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to figure out where I want to put this. I think I want to put it right about there. And then I'm going to press down and make sure that I get everything in there. And you can see the color shining through on the opposite side. Look at that. That looks so cool going through the jelly print on the opposite side. Okay, so I'm pushing in lightly, and now I'm going to lift and hope that it all worked out. It's a little bit off, but that's okay because I can come back in and fix that. And actually, the moon looks kind of green now. See that? Yeah. And that's okay because I'm going to outline this whole area as well. So I'm okay with it looking like this because I'm going to work on adding more detail to the moon and to whatever else I'm going to put on here. So I'm not too worried about it. Okay? And then the excess that's on here, I'm going to grab something to wipe it off with, which I should have had something ready to go as it was. So I got a piece of deli paper, and I'm just going to use this to get the rest of the paint off my jelly print. My jelly, whatever you call it. Word's not coming to me today. Sorry about that. Okay. Well, this one lifted up kind of funky. Yeah. All right. And I could probably just do the excess on my drop paper, so that's what I'm going to do. Do the excess on the drop paper, just anywhere, and you won't see it because my camera's not in that area, focused in that area. Okay, so like this. Okay, all right. So I'm hoping it's dry, pretty dry. Okay, and now I'm going to take this tree. It's a stencil that I made myself on my Silhouette Cameo, okay? And so I'm going to go ahead and do the tree, and I think I'm going to use, what am I going to use? I'm into metallics right now, so I'm going to do the metallic green. It's called Crystal Green by Deco Art. So I'm going to put that out on some paper here, and then I'm going to take a makeup sponge, and I'm going to sponge that on, and then you'll see what I'm going to do next after that. So I've got my makeup sponge, and I'm just going to dip. Okay. this to kind of shimmer, okay, like if this tree's shimmering in the moonlight, okay? And I'm using green at the moment, but you'll see what I'm going to do next with it. I should have probably used a different color because these aren't really the tree, you know, not really tree, you know. There's no leaves on the tree, but I wanted to do green, so it doesn't have to be very realistic, right? The only thing is I should have taped this down to hold it still, and I didn't. So let's just hope that this makes a nice print. And I'm done. Okay, so I'm going to lift it. And it looks pretty good right now, okay? And I'm going to let it dry, and I'll be back in a few minutes. So my dog is barking. I've got to let her in. She's outside. All right, now that it's dry, I'm going to get some copper, if I can find it. Okay, this is really copper. It's called Warm Penny, okay? Warm Penny. Sometimes I don't pronounce my words clearly enough. It sounds different. So I'm going to realign this as close as I can, okay? And then I'm going to take the Warm Penny and I'm going to cut this sponge in half. Okay, and then I'm going to dip it in my Warm Penny, okay? And then I'm going to go back over. Sometimes you tape down your stencils so that they kind of stay in place, and I should have done that, but hopefully it's working. It's not too smeared once I lift it up. Look when I lift it. Abracadabra. And it looks really good. Okay. Alrighty. So I'm going to let that dry and I'll be back in a few minutes. So I'm going to come back in and I'm going to fix my moon a little bit better. Alright. And those areas that kind of turned out to look a little green, I didn't want them green. And then I'm going to outline the tree after I dry it off real quick with my heat gun. I'll be back. Now I'm going to outline my moon in the Prussian blue hue. I will have to go back in and redo my tree a little bit. I probably should have done the moon first and then put the tree on, but live and learn, right? And so now I'm going to go in and redo the tree a little bit. I'll be right back in a second to dry my... Alright, so I placed the stencil back on and I'm going to take my copper paint and I'm going to go back in and re-outline again because I covered some of it when I went back in to paint my moon. Alright, so everything's dry, and I'm going to go in with my black Posca pen, and I'm going to outline the tree. You got to make sure that before you do your if you have a Posca pen, that everything is good and dry before you go in and outline, because the wet paint can ruin the nib on the Posca pens, and then, yeah, then you can't really use your Posca pen. So my recommendation is you dry real good, or you let it dry overnight or whatever for a few hours, and then come back in and outline. Take some Prussian blue hue, and I'm going to go paint in some ground, okay? Again, but that's okay. It happens. Live and learn. Probably wondering why I haven't painted here. It's because eventually these pieces of paper, or these folders that I'm using, are going to get taken, you know, they're going to be cut and bound. So that's why I've left some room for cutting, so I don't cut into my picture. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to have to go back over a little bit more where I lost some of my copper color right in here. Okay. Yeah, I should have outlined, done the ground before I put the tree in and all of that, but oh well. It'll look okay once I put stuff back in a little bit. Alright, there we go. And that looks really good. And then I'm going to outline it in black with a Posca pen, just to kind of get rid of some of that green that's showing through, because it really doesn't show up once it dries on the paper because of the black gesso in the background, and that's okay. I'm just kind of fixing my lines here a little bit better too. I'm going to cover some of the areas up, let's see, because I need to add some stars in here, and I really should have done it with, yeah, I really should have, I wanted to splatter stars on, but because I've got, yeah, because I put all this on and I don't want to splatter it, I'm going to take the back of my brush and I'm just going to add my stars in like that, using the back of my brush. There we go. And I'm using the true silver in this again for the stars. Some people like to use the white, and I like using white, don't get me wrong, for my stars sometimes, but today I'm into the metallics. So I'm putting on some metallic stars. And the true blue is done in it's the Deco Art Traditions Artist Acrylic Paint. And I really like this paint. It really works well and it dries rather fast, which I like. So you don't have to worry about it having to have it dry overnight. My stars. I think I like that. So now I'm just going to find a word to put in, and I think I'm going to use my white Posca pen for that. Okay, to write it in.